For anterior, we have superficial and deep. Okay. Cervical flexors, lateral cervical group. All these things are there. Let us go one by one to understand it. Okay. So anterior is basically flexors. It is in the superficial group. Once again, that means it is towards the skin. Okay. Something that you can really feel. Okay. Sternocleidomastoid. This muscle I want you to remember. Sternocleidomastoid. This muscle is something you should remember. And the best part about this muscle is you can easily know what is the insertion and origin because of its name. In fact, all the muscle, if named like this, you will never need to think about where is the insertion and origin. This is one of the best name for a muscle because we don't need to think about. So sternum, okay, my sternum, my clavicular, it is connecting to the sternum. You see the green muscle, my clavicular, and it is going and to the mastoid. Remember the mastoid process here to the ears. Now, if I do this, when you do this movement, you can feel this muscle. When you do all, because it is exactly in the front, whenever you do this movement, you can always one muscle starting from here and exactly going down. You can just palpate it. You can easily feel it. That's your superficial muscle. You do this, got it? So basically just try to rotate it like this and you feel this muscle, tightening from here, and it is going up, right? Can you feel it? That is your sternocleidomastoid, okay? Platysma. Now, platysma is a muscle that is very rarely used, but yes, with all the movements that you do this, in the YCB, we had this, right? Platysma, where you should do like this. This was one of the exercises of Dhirendra, yoga exercise of Dhirendra Brahmachari. But you know what? It is, if you do these 10 times like this, after 2-3 days, you will start paining. Like the next day, it will start paining, this platysma muscle. Okay. So basically, this muscle, if you have the double chin and stuff like that, this muscle is responsible. Okay. So once again, you can really feel it. When I do this, you can feel the platysma muscle. Okay. So both are coming into the superficial group. Okay. Okay, so first let's take the platysma. Okay, so what it is doing, it is flexing. Definitely it is connecting here to the mandible. The only thing is doing flex. If one is getting tight, it will rotate. Okay, it will also do a lateral flexion and it will also do a extension. Okay, strengthen this muscle. So double chin. So we need to work on strengthening this muscle because otherwise most of the time this muscle is loose. It's weak. Okay, so it's good to strengthen. Simha Mudra. Remember Simha Mudra? The tongue out, Simha Mudra. Yes, that's the amazing practice to work on this, So that's one of the best way to work on double chin. Wrinkles of the skin of neck. So sometimes people have these wrinkles. If you start regularly doing this, it is said in yoga that it gets improved, but I haven't found any research on it. But yoga says we can try it out, no doubt. Okay. Okay. So once again, where is the insertion? So origin is on the clavicle. The collarbone, as you can see very clearly, and the insertion is on the mandible. So what job it does? The origin pulls the insertion. The origin pulls the insertion. Okay, depression of the mandible. Okay, depression of the mandible. So what it is basically helps in facial expression, right? Like we are shocked, all these things, it's all shock, everything that comes. This is also comes in your facial expression. It is social communication. This is also known as a muscle of social communication. Surprisingly, if you go through muscles, are amazing. There are some muscles that are known as honeymoon muscles. There are some muscles that are known as guardian of virginity. We will go through it. It's amazing. The anatomists have given such a different names that people can really easily understand. And really, there is a reasoning behind it. We will go through it. I was going too deeper into it. I realized, wow, amazing. Anatomy is just great. Okay, so now sternocleidomastoid. All the stretches that you do like this, you twist, all this. So what is the work here? What it is doing? Flexion, primarily flexion. Once again, rotation, lateral flexion. And if you see, most of the muscles are doing lateral flexion and extension. Even in your extensor group, most of the muscles, they're doing the same thing, right? Now, as we know, we talked about it, the insertion and origin of it, very clear. Okay. largest and the superficial muscle. So it is one of the largest and the superficial muscle in the anterior part of your neck. Okay. Postural alignment of body. So if you start working on this muscle also, you will. Now what is happening? Imagine sometimes people are these muscles and the shoulders are going up slowly and steady. These muscles also get tightened, you know, at times. And that's the reason you should be very careful to work on these muscles, especially focusing on lateral stretches. Lateral stretches. But lateral stretches with strengthening, that is PNF. We will talk about it later when we are doing the practice. Okay, kyphosis treatment. Remember, people are having this position. When you start correcting, this is also a muscle that helps in kyphosis, you know, hunchback, Dowager's hump. This is where it will help you. And that's the reason your sterno, Clyro, mastoid muscle plays a very important role, because your head is always forward, right? Your head is always forward. Okay, sternum, mastoid, and occipital, that we are clear. Flex, okay. Ipsilateral, rotate, lateral flexion, okay. Now this is the deep, okay. We went on the superficial, now this is the deep. The longest capitus, longus colli, rectus capitus, rectus, so many muscles. Don't need to remember, don't worry. This is just for your knowledge that in the flexor we have a deep group of muscles also, okay. Chin tuck, double chin. See, whenever you are doing, see what happens. As I told you, there are two muscles that are working when you're doing this. Agonist, antagonist. Whenever you are doing a chin tuck, what I told you, you are stretching your extensors, but you are contracting your flexors. With the chin tuck, you are also doing this. When you do a, which is that asana? Pavan Muktasana. When you lift the head up, it is these flexor muscles that help you to lift the head up, right? It's like this, you lift anything. Whenever you lift the head up against the gravity in a supine position, you will strengthen your flexors. Whenever you lift your body in a prone position, you will strengthen your extensors. Make sense? Make sense? Very simple, right? So whenever you are doing a practice, don't forget the Pavan Muktasana, especially lifting the head up. Apart from engaging the core, it will try to strengthen your flexors and stretch your extensors. Okay, but I'll show you how to do it later on. Okay. So over here, some of these muscles, okay, strengthening once again, we'll talk about it later. These are all different variations with valve support, with elastic band, you know, using a gym ball as resistance. Okay, stretching once again, Ustrasana, anything. See, anything where the head is going like this, my extensors are contracting, but my flexors are stretching, right? So whether you do Ustrasana, whether you do fish pose,